So when the state is updated, the entire state gets overridden. So in objects or arrays, if one property is updated, then the entire property gets overwritten, hence leading to the loss of data and inconsistency. So to update the objects and arrays in state, we use the spread operator. Alright, and let us take an example here. So instead of this useState holding just one value at a time, I'm going to make this post to be an object. So for now we are assigning a string to this variable called post, and now I'm going to remove it and instead assign it an object. And how do we write an object? We use the curly braces, and then within that curly braces we have the object properties and then the values. So we have the first property. If you look at the post, a post can be treated as an object because a particular post has many properties. For example, it has the post date when it was posted, and then it has the content, okay, then it has maybe the poster or the person who posted and something like that. So we can say this post is an object which has three variables, I mean three properties, which is the message, which is a string saying my post, and then it also has the date when it was posted. Let's make this date a string for now. So we say maybe it was posted on August 28, 2025. Then it also has the owner who posted this, maybe is Duo. So this post now is a variable, is an object with three properties: post message, the date, and the owner of the post. And we have declared it using a useState variable. Okay, so we want to replace it here saying my post is post dot. So we can access one of it is variable. Let us access the message of that post. Okay, then on click, on clicking that, let us update the value of the post. So we can update the value of the post saying that let me use this code snippet. So I want to say on click, do this particular thing here. So on click, I'm setting the post to a new value. Maybe I say post dot message, something like that. So now when I go back to our web page and refresh that, you can see now it says my post, my favorite post is my post. Then when I click change post, everything is declared, is removed, and we have nothing being seen here. Why is that happening? Is because anytime we update the object, using this normal set post, all the values which were stored in this object will be overwritten and it will be set to null. So message will be set to null, to an empty, date will also be empty, owner will be empty, despite we have only modified post.message. So we are trying to change only the message, but in the process of just updating the message, setting the message, even all these other ones have been modified. Why is that? Is because we are dealing with an object. So when we are dealing with an object or an array, when you update one particular property, all the other properties get updated, and that is not what we want. We only want to deal with that property that we want to update, and to be able to do that, we use the operator called the spread operator. We use the spread operator, and the way we use it is demonstrated in this code snippet. I will share this and you'll be able to see the code snippet in your PDF. So when you take this code and replace it here, so we have here a function called, or let us call it favorite post, the way it was, favorite post. And here we have an object. We have a post object with title, content, date, and the image. Maybe you are attaching some image to your post. And then down here we are having update post method. So how does this update post method work? It sets the post. It is calling this method called set post, and then it is using the spread operator. So these three dots here is what we are calling the spread operator, and then it says the previous state. Take the previous state the way it is, and in that previous state only update that value which has been called. So when you come down here where we are having update the post, it will only detect what value has been changed, and that particular value will be updated instead of updating every other thing. Alright, so that is the difference between when you are updating a normal useState variable and when you are updating an object. So let me export this below here. So it is giving us an error here down saying useState is not defined. This is happening in favorites.js line 2. So let's go and see line 2. We are trying to use useState, but we have not imported. So we need to import above here. Import useState from React. And that should now work. So you can now see it displays well. It is my post master bank from 1964. So even when you click here, it does not update any value. It keeps the values intact. So I think there's one concept we haven't looked at when we were looking at JavaScript, and that is the concept of spread operator. So if you get time, please read about the spread operator to understand how it works. And then the next concept, the next type of a hook which I would want us to look, but not now, after we have looked, or after we have introduced the backend is this hook called the use effect hook. So the use effect hook allows you to perform side effects in your components, and these side effects could be things like fetching data from the backend API, or updating some DOM elements, or setting some timers. So we will look at this. It will be better clear when we have already looked at the concept of backend APIs, so that now we can show an example with it. Guys, up to this point we have come to the end of the React concepts which I want us to do. And unless you have a challenge, we have captured most of the things that I want us to look. You can now be able to create a React app, and you can be able to create multiple components. You can be able to create some navigations. Okay, you can be able to set up some form to collect some user data, and I think that is basically all that is entailed in any of the application. You realize that for any web application you develop, that web application must first of all have a nice navigation. There must be an aspect of navigation. There must be an aspect where users can be able to interact with the forms by entering their data. There must be a way where you are displaying that data to the user for them to see. Alright, and I think that is what we have covered all. The only thing we have not covered is how to apply the styling so that now you make your pages really look good and much professional. Like if you visit the Code Archive website, you see now here we are having some cards displayed here. Here we have courses, and each course we have course title, below it we have course description, we have this button here laid out very nice, we have this card and this other card with each course. You click on courses, you're able to see all these courses here, and these things you can only be able to do them by using CSS. Okay, so since this course we are not doing CSS, then I will, but we have introduced it. So we had introduced on how to use styles. So then you can now go and you look at the concept of CSS and Bootstrap, how to use Bootstrap in React. I think I will have to create a lesson for using Bootstrap so that we are able to also apply the styles to our application. But up to this far, I think we are done with the React. We will need now to look at the backend. Unless you have a question, you can ask. So if there is no question, tomorrow let me prepare a lesson on Bootstrap. Bootstrap is a framework of CSS. So instead of using CSS to write a lot of code, you could simply use Bootstrap to have this style like the one you are seeing on this page. So how to integrate Bootstrap in React and how to use Bootstrap in React. And then maybe we can also look at the concept of filtering and searching, because for any website you're going to build, you must be fetching some data and you must allow users to search for some content or even to filter for some content. Then after that we will call it a nice React lesson. Then we move to the backend. Any query, guys? Any question? Alright, so if there is no question, then we can call it a class for today, and then we meet again tomorrow, same time.